Now, we've talked a lot yesterday lovingly about Robin Williams and how sad we are at his loss. He'd been open about his recent heart surgery, about his battles with depression. He was on the Ellen Show just a few months back, and he said at the time it felt like he had a new lease on life.
I've heard when you have heart surgery, you can go into depression after that.
No, I think for me it was exhilaration. I'm alive!
Really, really.
With guys especially, you know, you get this whole thing, men, and we armor up like, yeah, I'm a dude, I'm a dude. You have a heart surgery, and literally they open you up, they crack the box, and you get really vulnerable. You'll be like, a kitten, oh God. Yeah. Oh, it's not even, it's a kitten, no way. And you get very, very emotional about everything, but I think that's in a way a wonderful thing. It really opens you up to everything.
Yeah, it's such a shame that he wasn't able to get the help he had tried. He'd even gone back into rehab for a checkup, not because he was on drugs, but because he was trying to stay on track. He'd fought depression a long time. And it raises the question, you know, he had just been remarried a few years ago. He and his wife very much in love. But what do you do if your spouse is suffering from depression? If it is your husband or your wife, can you do anything?
Yeah. Leslie Gustafson, our sex and marriage therapist, is here with her advice.
Yeah.
Hi, Leslie. So depression, I mean, you see the signs that would be, they're sad all the time, but there's a lot of other signs as well.
Is that the sign of, let's talk about the signs of depression.
There's lots of different signs, and depression is really fairly epidemic and something we see all of the time. 1 in 8 women in their lifetime will have major depression, 1 in 16 men. Okay, but the suicide rate is higher for men, 4 times likely for men to suicide. That presents a little bit different in men and women, but the classic signs are, like you said, kind of persistent sadness, emptiness, difficulties with concentration. You see shifts in not enjoying life in the way that they used to, a decrease in enjoying pleasurable activities. Fatigue, physical complaints are common, reckless behavior, substance abuse can be happening. Helplessness and hopelessness are hallmark. So if you're seeing your partner or your wife or your husband making profound shifts, or they've been in kind of a pit for a very long time without lifting up, this is real stuff.
Yes.
Depression is a real thing. It's mental illness. It's not about cowardice. It's not about, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. This is a real thing, not unlike cancer. We need to take it seriously. We need to know the signs. We need to act on the signs in love. Even if it's ourselves, we need to be aware of our own shifts. And sometimes you have a greater ability to observe see
another person. Now, let's go on. You talk about the signs of depression. What about, to the next step, the signs that someone could be wanting to hurt themselves or preparing to hurt themselves? Suicide.
Yes, 50 to 75% of people who suicide have talked about it. Okay, there's been maybe a preoccupation with death, statements like life would be better without me here. There's a profound shift that sometimes you can see when someone moves from depression to all of a sudden being calm and happy, which means they've probably made a decision or have shifted into, they think their best option is to get out, and they have moved into that state. So you, of course, want to stay alert to all of those, but the classic is depression and hopelessness, helplessness usually precedes suicidality. So if you're looking for the depression and you see it, you can catch that first before it gets more extreme.
So once I catch it, what do I do? How do I help get through to you? Because it's not a snap out of it.
You don't minimize it. You don't rationalize it. You lovingly confront without criticism or blame and say, oh my gosh, I'm so concerned about you. Let's just take a look and let's just go get an assessment. Get you to a mental health professional. Call a suicide prevention hotline. If nothing else, to eliminate the possibility of it.
Makes sense.
Let's make sure that's not what it is. Now again, men and women present differently. Men will be looking like more angry, more reckless, more hyper in control, more blaming of others, shame around talking about it, so they don't talk about it as much. They see it more likely to be weak, and so they're a little more undercover, more preoccupation with sleep and physical complaints. You'll hear that from men. Women will look more anxious, more scared, more weight fluctuations, a little bit more guilt, worthless, hopeless, helpless,
Yeah.
Right.
sad. It's more apparent, and they will definitely be more verbal about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is just to get the conversation started, and I appreciate you talking about it today. The most important thing, you mentioned it, it is a mental illness, it is a disease, it needs treatment. It's not something
And
you can
it's
snap
treatable.
out of.
There is hope and there is help, and it is
good to hear.
treatable.
Yeah.
Don't suffer this in silence. Get help. Thank you, Leslie, for coming on the
Yes,
show.
I'm going to be posting all of these symptoms on our Facebook page because there's even more, and I want people to really be able to
Perfect.
drill down on them.
Perfect.
Thank
we're
you so
coming,
much.
coming right back after the break. Stick around. It was good stuff. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.